gives us narratively. No need for the characters to talk about most of this exposition. It's purely there to justify the story to us, the viewers, to tell us, don't worry, I swear the world makes sense, just please trust me. In fact, the exposition is so repetitive, so badly written, so badly placed that I came up with a working theory. Hear me out. I promise I'm not crazy, which is an awesome way to convince someone of something
Labyrinth of Galleria,
that is not crazy.
The Moon Society.
I think they added this exposition to clarify things that the audience wasn't understanding, because the acting is just as bad as the scripting in this film.
The scroll we had was proving to be helpful. Ong was practicing, but for some reason, he was having trouble with waterbending. We moved from town to town in the Earth Kingdom. We tried to stay out of sight, but Soka became concerned we were being followed. My and the princess became friends right away.
I'm not crazy, I swear. I am not conspiratorial. I know people are following me. But I would not be shocked if these lines were added in because Aang getting frustrated with his waterbending, or Sokka being concerned with him being followed, or him and Yue being in a relationship was not effectively communicated in the acting. And
We've been expecting you. Now then, I wish you a safe journey.
Perfume bottle. Why the heck is it still Madam Granny?
maybe they had to edit the film down to the point that the plot just fell apart. In which case Shyamalan was like, hey, Qatar is already narrating a whole bunch of stuff, let's just add this in anyway. But it's not a replacement, okay? You can't just replace entire plot beats and scenes with characters narrating what would have happened. It doesn't work for Shyamalan. Oh, he goes even further. He commits the cardinal sin of exposition.
As you know, Firelord has banished his son, the prince. Renounced his love of him.
I'll bring forth a bloody bloom!
The walkthrough says nothing about enemies being invisible again.
A great view! Of what?
The sounds sucks.
I'm stronger!
Yeah, right now charisma is really important, so I'm very happy that everyone is ignoring. Why is Naisea the only one that has good luck? There isn't even a single person that has neutral luck. I swear, man. Already. Alright, so I looked at the walkthrough and stuff just to see how much of this apartment there is. And yeah, looks like there's not much reason for you to stay on floors. And once you see an elevator, you should...
I'll bring forth a bloody bloom! A great view! Let's line up together! Ready for orders. Whoa! We won! Level up! Now, this seems
is the
about
fruit of
right.
my labor.
I hate that they inflict stench. Eventually, even Tortella's gonna get stenched, and what'll I do then? Get fucked, that's what. This is the ultimate problem with randomly generated dungeons. How do you make them interesting? The game kinda shot itself in the foot and had a hard time, and well, has a hard time making randomness interesting because we've already been through so much and we've already explored the extent of our abilities greatly in the finely tuned, actual, not randomly generated dungeons. So now that there's just boring ass random dungeons, it just feels oh, there's the elevator. Alright, so it's just every 6 floors is a major thingy. What the hell happened to the internet?
Don't lower your guard. I know. Here, right? Missed. Together.
Seriously, Rubber.
I know. Here, right? Together. The battlefield is my stage.
As you know, Lord Vader, says the Stormtrooper, you are a fallen Jedi who turned to the dark side to save his girlfriend. Yes. I know. As you know, isn't just a red flag that you're just saying this for the audience, but it's a newbie screenwriter mistake. It's not what that someone with 6 films under his belt should be making. And you know what's even funnier? This isn't even the only time that he uses this.
What are those films? I don't recognize any of them.
I know. Here, right? Oh, man! A great view. The battlefield is my stage!
Not what that someone with 6 films under his belt should be making. And you know what's even funnier? This isn't even the only time that he uses this phrase with this character.
You know I conducted a raid on the Great Library, which was said to exist.
Ozai even says.
Serve on words.
Because.
We're right back here. I missed something rather important. Well, actually, it's the most optional of optional you could ever be optional. But I consider this very important. A new voice type for a character. Also, I just accepted that we ride a train to get to the next floor after this. But the walkthrough says that this makes no sense, and then yeah, you're right, this doesn't fucking make sense. It's just I've gotten so used to nothing making sense anymore in this game. Oh. It's a little too late for you to be telling me about this game.
Exposition. This isn't just like a mistake, this is incompetent. If exposition is about knowing what information to deliver and when, then I am not even kidding when I say that Shyamalan meant just to ham-fist in some exposition with Yuei's dying breath.
I believe that my life force will leave my body and return to the moon spirit.
And then what?
My soul will no longer exist in this form.
Battle
How?
start!
How is this still exposition when Shyamalan thinks he needs to get out twice? Why can't he just let
I'll
us
do my
figure
best.
this out from context? You know?
Oh,
Watching
man!
her
Let's
soul
go!
leave her body and go into the fish. There are a million ways that all of this information could have been made more interesting through character conflict or mystery or the environment, or hey, here's a novel idea, simply let us figure it out for ourselves. But Shyamalan never does any of that. I'm good. I'm not an alcoholic. I am coping with this perfectly.
Don't lower your guard!
It's difficult to understate just how bad the exposition is in this film. Phrasing
Sorry, we got all attacking
sure,
characters.
mostly the sheer amount of it.
Wow!
Crazy.
That was very rare of you, Roberts. To be good like that.
Entire screenplay and cut out all of
I'll do my
the
best.
totally unnecessary exposition and calculate an exact percentage of the film that could be cut with no consequences whatsoever. So of course I did it. Here we go. I talked a lot about necessary exposition, but what the hell does that really mean? It's the stuff that you need to communicate in order for your story to work, and generally there are two types. The first is problem-solving exposition. Crucial information that will play a major role in the development or resolution of your conflict. This is stuff like that the One Ring can only be destroyed where it was made. Mount Doom. We need to know this because it explains why this kills Sauron and characters do the things that they do. The second type is character justification.
Another one.
This isn't always necessary, but there's usually some form of it in most books. Oftentimes it's backstory that is essential to understanding why you're telling the story of this character. Blade Runner 2049 gives us flashbacks to a kid because who this kid is and whether these memories are real is driving Kay through his story. Sometimes there is information outside the time frame of your story that you need to get across like this. And to be honest, that's it. You might include more because it makes your story more immersive, or you want to show off a particular part of your world, and hey, that's fine. Most good books do this to some degree, and it really works to their benefit, but it's not strictly necessary in that barest minimum term. So, when I talk about the sheer amount of unnecessary exposition, I'm excluding stuff like that Yue was saved by the moon spirit when she was a child, or that Zuko was burned by his father after he refused to fight. Those are problem-solving and character justification exposition pieces. All of that, I am not counting, because as bad as it might be, written or delivered, it is still necessary for a cohesive plot.
I'll bring forth the bloody bloom!
But with 5,137 words of spoken dialogue in Shyamalan's screenplay, of those, 564 will be cut with no consequence whatsoever. They don't affect what Shyamalan sets up and pays off.
I know.
They wouldn't affect
Here,
the
right?
understanding of the characters or the story. You can cut 10% of this film just from unneeded exposition and not even blink an eye. 10%! What the hell? I swear, everything I cut was
mana.
either
You still
totally
get a lot of mana.
unnecessary, already communicated, or was about to be communicated soon after. And this includes things like,
You know, I conducted a raid on the Great Library, which was said to exist.
which even after this long is still so funny because it comes with all the classic hits.
I raided the Great Library earlier this year. This is a scroll from the Great Library.
Chet Beaucham's new 2020 album, Do You Remember That I Raided the Great Library, is out now for pre-order. And this is amazing because Shao only has
Let's go.
37 lines in the entire
A great
film.
view.
And Shyamalan writes this in so many times, meaning that nearly 10% of the
Ready
main
for
antagonist lines are dedicated to informing the audience about an unimportant event in an unimportant location that we never see, that only appears in one episode of the original
I just remembered.
show. That isn't even in the book that this film is based on. 10%? Do you have nothing else that you could possibly have Zhao talking about? Is this it? Is it just the Great Library for him? This isn't Harry and his mother's eyes, which actually have a purpose to their repetition. And I need to point out that this isn't just counting the bad exposition, because all of the exposition in this film is bad. This is just the stuff that could be cut with no consequences whatsoever.
Ong flew us to his home. He told us how he left there in a storm on Appa and got forced into the ocean where they almost drowned. Ong airbended a sphere around them and ice formed and he couldn't remember anything after that.
We know that he throws himself in a sphere after getting upset and running away. We don't need to know that he airbent a sphere around him that turned to ice. That's a weirdly specific piece of information, and the rest of this needs to be implied through action. Show us that this is his home. This is putting aside the fact that Katara says his name before she asks his name. Like, Shyamalan just forgot to get that information out. Katara were like, hey, yeah, let's go after nameless child number 3. Later on, I'm not even kidding when I say that Aang exposits his relationship
Okay,
with
this is definitely the elevator.
the most boring
Yep.
way possible.
He's the teacher responsible for me. It's kind of like my father.
This should be acted out. We should see this in how the characters relate to one another, even if it's totally without words. But Shyamalan is just sitting there in the director's chair going, what are you saying? He wants to infer all of this from the acting? Not on my watch! And the problem is Shyamalan's keeping his determination to strip his dialogue of subtext and put everything explicitly into the script so that we can't infer anything for ourselves can really undercut what are meant to
I
be
know.
the emotional
Here,
beats
right?
of the story.
I wish the new avatar would be born into the air.
I know. Here, right? This is our victory.
It would be so much more effective for Katara to trail off when she sees the field of skeletons, suddenly confronted with the sheer mechanized horror of the Nomad genocide, instead of saying that they were exterminated, which this tells us all visually. Her line of exposition is kind of pointlessly distracting in this scene. Let us feel the emotion first by looking at the hundreds of bodies and seeing Aang's anguish, and then give us that context if we need it. This is a really important writing technique. In fiction, people care more about things because they impact characters than because they're bad things in and of themselves. It's why we tell stories about the Holocaust from individual perspectives, like the book Thief. But the film only really introduces Gyatso once we've already seen the bodies. Way too late, it's pretty much
Apparently this was an elevator meant to warp us
It's about
around.
the order in which you give the viewer information. The Nomad genocide, while objectively awful, is meant to be given narrative weight through Aang's trauma, but this doesn't hit nearly as hard because we don't know why any of this matters to Aang on a truly personal level.
Let's go!
We don't know about Gyatso. We barely know
A
Aang.
great
It's a small detail, but it's a trait of
What's that?
introduce the exposition before giving us a
This is
reason.
our
Yeah,
victory.
Gyatso is just not given the screen time needed to make this moment meaningful. But Shyamalan, oh bless his soul, he doesn't forget his greatest strength, which is terrible exposition. In the final scene of the film, he gives us a wonderful farewell, a wonderful send-off with Ozai.
Sozin's comet is returning in 3 years. It will give all firebenders the ability of the highest firebenders, the ability to use their own chi
Let's go!
to create fire.
Ah!
That is the day
Ready for
we
orders.
destroy fire.
This line about firebenders using their own chi to create fire is just absolute cringe. It's like Thanos going and getting the glove during
I'll do
the
my
end credit
best.
scene, putting it on and going, fine, I'll do it myself.
This is
with
our
this
victory.
glove that I specifically invented to hold the 6 Infinity Stones. Time, space, brain, gravity, energy, electromagnetism. Look, I don't know Marvel. Don't at me. I don't get it. I don't get any of this film. I'm fine.
Oh hey, I found it.
Bring me all your elderly! Ever heard the phrase, no man is an island? Introducing characters is hard, because you're not just trying to define who they are alone as a person, but you're trying to define their place within your cast of characters, their relationships and dynamics with others. And in films, you've got to do this really quickly. Katara and Sokka are introduced in the opening scene, when she's waterbending until she accidentally drops them on the
World
surface.
between
Yeah,
worlds.
As a fan of the show, might rightly recall this is how the show itself opens. But when we take a closer look, this whole scene is missing the subtext or character information that it really needs to make these characters work. In the original version of the scene,
Yep.
Katara and Sokka are
Whoa, is that-
Start!
Katara gives a half that we grimace and she manages to
Oh,
waterbend a fish out of the water, while Sokka is turned the other way.
Well, there's not much I can
on its
do.
own with Speeder. She asks him to look at what she's done, but he refuses, thinking, it'll be nothing. Then he pops her bubble, and the fish flies back into the water, and they both lose their fish, which he then blames on her trying to
Don't underestimate a
This scene tells us that
Why would you target Reppers first?
B. Sokka is sexist and condescending,
You
not believing that his
son of a
own
bastard.
He's manling things like he could. C. Sokka doesn't value her skills. And D. This causes tension in their relationship. And welcome to tonight's show. I want you to take a guess at how much of this subtext was communicated during the film.
I know.
A.
Here,
all
right
of it. B. None of it. C.
What?
You seem like you're really not okay. Please take a break. You're guessing B. None of it. Congratulations. You
Ready
win
for orders.
nothing. In the film, Sokka never treats her innocently. We can't even see Katara's face. But
Well, she lasted long as decoys.
Sokka never shows
I'll
any
do my
kind of
best.
sexism. At best, he approaches her like he's gonna hit her or something, and then just tells her not to do it around him. It can
Please.
be relational conflict. We know nothing about who these people are alone, nor anything about how they relate
I'll
to
do my
one another.
best.
But it only gets worse from here.
No.
I
What?
mean, Sage over just right pointed correctly that this scene is full of inconsistent characterization of both Katara and
Progress has been
Sokka.
amazing.
They see the light under the ice.
Hey, which
Sokka
part?
cracks with his boomerang. And hey, Sokka's never seen a film with ice in it before, so maybe I can excuse him. But shock horror when the whole ice sheet begins to crack beneath them. This tells the audience that Sokka is reckless, but subtextually, a moment like this tells us his place within the web of characters. He's the one who gets the group into trouble, who pushes people to take risks.
Huh. Apparently I learned something new, but whatever. I think I already have it. Look at this. When did I get these? Also, holy shit, the witch core already? Nanny. They must be in the moon stance. I guess only Repper can go there. That was a rare stealth anime. Ah. Voices. I can't change. Should be fine to sell. I want money.
I'm not conscious as a puppet, so I don't know. I'm so sleepy. I don't know if it's because Fanty's tied to my soul or what, but it feels like I'm being drained of energy.
Yep, having me with you is...
usual, and sleeping too. Hope this doesn't mean I'm losing years off my life or anything. Huh? What's wrong, Noir? Are you out of it or something? You just ate. You weren't napping in there again, were you? You know you're not allowed to. It got cold all of a sudden. Oh, that you, Fanty?
And spirit, I guess. Not flesh, because I have none.
This thing here is pretty nice. I can sense mana practically overflowing out of it. It's exactly what I wanted. But what even is this thing? It's not just that it's got a lot of mana. There's just something about it. Well, whatever. It must mean the mana density in there's pretty high if it produced something this rich in mana. I'm super curious about what it's like. I wish I could go there myself. But it's probably not a good idea if there's that much mana. I once
Trust me,
found
you
the
don't
minced
wanna.
remains of a rat inside the wardrobe. I thought Noir did that, but it's a good thing I didn't write it off.
That wardrobe is a curio.
Oh, good kitty. You happy to hear that? You want to stay here and be my kitty? You're such a cat. But more importantly, wonder how much she'll pay me for this thing.
Speak of the devil?
Oh, speak of the devil.
Hey!
Hello, welcome.
Huh. I've never seen this place before. Smells musty in here.
Are you a police officer?
Oh, welcome.
The sign says general store, but there's just a bunch of junk in here. Or is that just me?
Excuse me? Sorry. We are a general store, but this isn't the high-end luxury kind a fine lady like you might be used to. If you came here just to make nasty comments...
A fine lady? Me? You're a funny one.
Wait, are you a guy?
Pronouns.
That's a good question. If that's what you think, then maybe I am. Or maybe I'm not.
Tell us your pronouns. Good person of non-specific gender.
Huh?
Wait, you don't know who I am?
No? Do you live in the building?
Doesn't matter. I just got word that there might have been someone using magic around here. Or maybe there wasn't. You might not know who I am, but you should at least know about the legal restrictions regarding magic, right? The law punishes unlicensed magic users. Without permission from the government, using magic is a fairly serious crime. The latent abilities test they do during birth registration is supposed to be pretty accurate, but I guess there's no sure thing, huh?
Are you from the government?
Now that's a boring question. I guess I'm sort of with the government. But you? Do you know anyone who's been using magic illegally? A neighbor, relative, or maybe you?
I don't know anything. If you're here to window shop or to mess around, please leave. I'm a busy person.
Oh? It doesn't look that way to me. I've never seen a place so dead. Almost feels like a ghost will pop out at any moment.
Please leave already. And don't eat in the store.
What's wrong? You don't like donuts?
No, it's just cliche.
You know what, though? Something
Duh.
does smell fishy around here.
My apologies. That's just the mold.
You wouldn't happen to be the culprit, would you?
Do I look like I'm capable of using magic?
You're gloomy and you're mean, as witches often are.
That's racism.
You're probably not, though. People who use magic illegally are smart. They're good liars that have no trouble hiding their wrongdoings. But they usually cause some kind of commotion when someone confronts them about it, as if they don't have a handle on their emotions. Unless you accidentally used magic, maybe. You'd have to be a real novice to do that, though.
I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I don't care if you're a suit or not. If you're here just to loiter, I will call the police.
Ooh, scary. I might fancy another visit in the future. I've got a good feeling about this place, if you know what I mean. Something's telling me there's a real gem hidden among all this junk.
Yes, so please go
and
buy it.
Just in case you remember anything, here's my business card.
No, thank you.
Ta-ta!
What a troublesome customer.
What was that all about? And this card's completely blank. Still playing with me, huh? Did I get found out? Nah, I don't think anyone knows I can use magic. But maybe someone picked up on those fireworks I did for Fanty yesterday. I need to be more careful. Oh, that's right. Do you think you can find more things like the one you found earlier, Fanty?
I don't mean to brag, but it's kind of my specialty.
You're more agreeable than I thought. That customer was kind of a shock, but now I'm ready to dive back into it. Sorry I'm sending you right back in there.
No worries. Ooh, a gossip pack. Well, that's what I'd like to say, but let's see. But nope. And it's 30,000 to use the witch petition to get a frickin' small soul. Super not worth it. Let's keep going.
But then Sokka insists on caution with the sphere emerges.
Time. Don't go there. Strongest fire nation. Back away. Really slow.
And by then having Katara rush to crack the sphere, Shyamalan indicates that Sokka is the cautious one and Katara is the reckless one. And they go back and forth on this to the point that we don't get any real idea of who these characters are alone, how they think, why they think what they think. But more importantly, we have no idea what their role in the web of characters is. In the show, Katara is the hopeful heart, the one who never lets the colder, strategic Sokka forget
Don't
the
lower
needs
your
of
guard.
others, while Sokka ensures that Katara doesn't get herself killed by being too
Don't
trusting.
underestimate
This
us.
is called mid-character foil, a dynamic mid-characters contrast as they highlight each other's traits.
Victory.
But there's no sense of that here at all. And the problem here isn't that it's not faithful to the original source material. I mean, you can make good changes, but these changes don't even seem to serve a purpose within their own story. But hey, I'm a reasonable man. Beast, decrepit goblin,
what's
who
this?
knows really at this point. And I'm gonna try and not be too harsh on the film for missing out on vital subtextual scenes, because the film simply doesn't have the same...
Okay. I have a feeling I'll be seeing more of those. Hey! Some fake J's! I can't equip them on Ripper, I just realized. But I can equip them on someone else.
The runtime to play with. But in the show, they use the mode where Aang's sphere breaks out of the ice to foreshadow Katara's immense waterbending power and her hot-headedness, which all builds into the character dynamic that they're exploring with her and Sokka, and it perfectly segues into the next plot beat, Aang. It's a brilliantly paced opening because the tense relationship and conflict that built between Sokka and Katara reaches its highest point and causes the next plot beat. In the film, though, there is a distinct break between introducing Katara and Sokka and introducing Aang. They're just standing there like lifeless NPCs waiting for the main characters to come along when they spot the light and the bright colored hair or
underestimate a
Aang's
good
face,
form.
like
Mine,
here.
yeah.
Aang's appearance is caused by Sokka's struggles hunting or Katara's waterbending. And the result is that for an opening of a film like this, I hated how slowly paced it was. And I like Blade Runner 2049, but that's because despite the slow pacing, Blade Runner is incredibly tense. Shyamalan's segue is stilted and awkward with nothing driving us towards this plot beat. It's just a thing that happens after a thing that happened. It's the equivalent of a late night talk show host using the "and speaking of" to move on to their next talking point. And this isn't even the most egregious introduction. Aang's introduction is devoid of any life, humor, or meaning that it originally had. And I don't want to put this on the kid, the actor Noah Ringer. It's not his fault that the script is so terrible, and they cast him knowing full well that he hadn't taken a single acting class in his life. Yeah, Shyamalan's got a thing for this bizarrely ominous music.
What's your name?
Which we will
Don't lower
return
your
to.
guard.
The shots here are
Ew.
slow, the line delivery
I
is slow,
really want
lifeless, and
to be able to see enemies again.
whatsoever. This is the sound of Arthur, one of the cutest, most beloved
I know.
giant
Here,
blocky
right?
characters of all time.
This is
He
our
stands with a
victory.
grim piece of furniture in the background with one might mistake for a cursed omen signifying you're about to die in a roller coaster accident.
Don't
Though
lower
Shyamalan
your
does
guard.
try, and I emphasize try, to play for a moment of humor by having Arthur
I know.
I'm not
Here,
complaining
right?
that it's back to, that it's normal random encounters. I'm complaining because they're hiding what clearly is not a random encounter system.
Hence the ominous music, the emphasis on realistic shots, and ever expressing a
Ow,
quality
did I
of
get
joy,
stronger?
Iroh always being serious, and Sokka and Katara constantly looking like they're watching their entire family die in a Saw film. The film doesn't feel childish or uplifting at first glance. It establishes a darker, more grim tone. I mean, just listen to how ominous the music is in this scene when Aang is struggling to waterbend.
Aang was practicing, but for some reason, he was having trouble with waterbending.
Very nice.
Watched with envy as Katara waterbent, jealousy rising inside him till he was left with one option: murder! He's just differently told story, which Shyamalan didn't seem to get. And the result is that there's a real tonal dissonance here between what Shyamalan writes and what he shows on screen. Part of the problem is that Shyamalan supposedly wanted to ground Sokka, whatever that means. A character who is largely
Mirai,
responsible
really?
for a lot of the humor in the story. And
Sure,
so
go
this
ahead.
tone
Relieve yourself.
humor issue keeps on coming back in later scenes.
raining tiny stones at us from behind a tree.
Okay, I am so glad. That was literally most normal toilet scene in fiction ever. Excuse me?
Characterization, particularly with soccer. I'm pretty sure that M. Night Shyamalan saw a couple of 2x4s and was like, yes, there.
That was honestly so hilarious. Like, yeah. You don't see toilets a lot in fiction. And that's for good reason. Toilet breaks are one of the most boring part of daily life. Not to mention the one that we're most familiar with. So it makes sense that you don't show them unless it's for a really specific and important reason. Like for maybe comedic, for tension in a horror, or character building maybe. Anything. But there it's just... Yep, Mirai took a pee. Took a piss. That's it.
The stars of my movie, because both of them,
I wonder if I can place mud exits here.
emotionless, decide that they need to go rescue Aang. Or at this point in the story, random stranger that they don't know anything about.
In the show, this moment is used for a little bit of growth in Sokka when he prepares a boat to go find Aang without Katara knowing, after initially being very skeptical of him, even forcing him out of the village. And in the film,
Yo,
yeah,
I can see a
Sokka
boss.
is skeptical of Aang's arrival as a Fire Nation trick, but Shyamalan doesn't do anything with this at all. There's no
Let's
sense
go.
of conflict between them over
And
Aang
only
that
the boss.
leads to building their
I know.
relationship with
Here,
Sokka
right?
around. Sokka doesn't take the initiative to leave. Katara does. He takes that boat from Sokka and gives it to Katara. He sets up Sokka's
This is
skepticism
our
and
victory.
pessimism, but it's treated as a reference rather than an arc.
And this is indicative of a really big flaw in Shyamalan's work here. A completely cardboard and totally vacuous Sokka that will come back to bite him in the end. Shyamalan often uses images, lines, and moments straight from the original show that set up dynamics and arcs, but he doesn't follow through on any of them. The result is Katara and Sokka's character dynamic is a one-note, mild acknowledgement that they both exist in the same universe at the same time. Reluctantly.
But Aang is really introduced in the Water Tribe village, which is,
Ooh.
fine, except for the fact that they don't really introduce Aang. They just introduce us to a blank piece of cardboard.
How'd you get all the way out here?
I'll bring forth the bloody
We got in
bloom!
the storm.
I'll
We
do
were
my
forced under the
best.
water of the ocean.
Coming out of this moment, we have no real idea of who he is, how he thinks, whether he's more of a modern or a top. He is a he's not form, he reports the culture. He's not acting guarded, really. There's nothing to worry about either Aang or Katara
I
alone,
know.
or about
Here,
how they
right?
relate to one another. Their place and how they contrast in the story. I mean, you have to tell people things in more than words, Shyamalan. You have heard the age-old adage, show, don't tell. And this is one of the crippling failures of the film. They are telling us his backstory, but not showing it.
This is
You
the fruit of
ask,
my labor.
is
Stronger.
Aang? Your answer can be different, but it cannot be.
No one.
In the original show, Aang's first moment is full of character when he skips over all the pleasantries to ask Katara to go penguin sledding with him. This tells us he's childish, he's extroverted, he lacks inhibitions, and is trusting from the start. But this scene, he's talking like he's meeting his new co-worker at a job he hates that he has no interest in getting to know any further than absolutely
seems about
necessary
right.
Kevin. Dev Patel Zuko is...
Nachi has no way of knowing what we're doing. I suppose that doesn't matter because we already have all the abilities we possibly could need for dungeon crawling.
Probably the least egregious of the main cast introductions, but, yeah.
Frankly, all your elderly!
There's at least some life and energy to Dev Patel's
mouse movements. The shot where he tears Aang's hood off, sees the tattoos, and takes a moment to
Don't lower
flip
your
himself.
guard.
That's a good moment of complexity with some subtext where we
Don't
can tell he's
underestimate a
taking
good
a moment
one.
to what is clearly a revelation. See, so the real issue here is everything else. What do we learn about him here, really?
I know. Here, right?
Son, firework outside and heir
This
to
is
the
our
throne.
victory.
Okay, so great, we got the first line of his Wikipedia page out of the way. Then Aang gets dragged out before him, and I want you to think about what this exchange tells us about Aang and Zuko subtextually.
Take me to my ship. If you don't come, I'll burn down this village.
I'll go with you. Don't hurt anyone.
By Zuko proactively threatening to burn down the village, it positions him as less compassionate or even sadistic. Aang only then asking Zuko to not hurt anyone makes the request carry a lot less weight. Aang being willing to stay inside the igloo when he can clearly hear people in danger outside either tells us that he doesn't care that much or he is afraid, neither of which the rest of the story bears out to be true. The story beat here is that Aang goes with Zuko, and fundamentally, it turns on Zuko being threatening, not Aang being compassionate. In the original show, Aang voluntarily throws himself into the fray to protect these strangers he barely knows. He spars with Zuko, but after seeing the danger that Zuko poses, Aang offers to come with him only if Zuko leaves everyone alone. Zuko then agrees. This exchange puts a lot more emphasis on Aang's self-sacrificial nature, both as a strength and as a weakness, and it makes him an active character because he is the one making the decisions that drive the story. The story beat here turns on Aang's compassion, not Zuko being threatening, but it also frames Zuko as more compassionate because he is allowed to make a choice to not hurt people, even if it's in such a small way as this, earlier in his arc, foreshadowing its eventual change. It's about where the driving force is in the scene, and it comes from quite a distinctly different place in the film compared to the show, a place that doesn't build their characters nearly as well. Again, I can't really fault the film for not including these scenes that build into these ideas when it just doesn't have the runtime to do so. But this is a change that literally would have taken the same amount of time
Let's go.
and the same amount of money, and apparently a little more writing skill. Imagine if it was simply a little bit different, like this. I'm taking you on my ship. I'm not going with you unless you promise to leave this village alone and never return. This is not only true to the original source material, but it helps realize a dynamic that Shyamalan was actually trying to put into the film, as well as giving Aang a strong character moment that he hasn't had yet in the story. And this only gets worse when we get to Zuko and Iroh are, in some sense, character foils again. Where Zuko is reckless and fueled by anger, Iroh is calm and contemplative. Zuko respects him, but struggles to learn his lessons, and controlling his anger is a big part of his arc. They define each other and their place in the story as much as they define themselves, with Zuko positioned as the misguided villain and Iroh positioned as his.
Don't lower your guard.
Are you fucking kidding me? 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 You're on your own, chick.
I know. Here, right?
Oh!
What did that happen? You're kidding. I'll do my best. Am I gonna die here? Everywhere.
But when we meet Iroh in the film, Shyamalan doesn't employ any of that relational subtext, even when Zuko yells for literally no reason.
Try to escape.
This is all true. Iroh doesn't even step in to calm his nephew. They could have had a private moment where Zuko nearly hot-headedly storms into the cell to gloat about capturing the Avatar before Iroh stops to caution him to keep a level head so that he doesn't escape, instead of this pointless scene where Aang is an elemental magnet. To confirm that he's the Avatar. This would have taken roughly the same amount of time and effort, or at least it would have set up a lot more to be paid off down the road. Iroh could have watched Aang and Zuko fight, reminding Zuko that firebending comes from the breath, not the muscles, a mistake that allows Aang to escape and sets up Zuko's arc in the future.
Let's get started!
Of needing self-control. But instead, Aang just escapes. He's just gone because he wants to now. Bye-bye. The problem is
It appears Tortella is still dead.
continue moving from plot point to plot point without delivering any meaning or depth to those plot points. Yes, Shyamalan saw that Zuko brought Aang aboard his ship. He also saw that Iroh was on that same ship. He saw that Aang escaped the ship.
I'm great
But
at running.
he did all of these things without giving any thematic or character reason for these plot beats in the story. As I watched this film again and again, it just became more and more mind-baffling that we get no sense that Iroh is a father figure to Zuko, his canary in the coal mine, the one that Zuko must learn from. That's pretty much the entire film. Iroh's most vital relationship within the character web is with Zuko, yet he doesn't even say a single word to his nephew throughout his entire introduction. And it only gets worse from here. Iroh only has 35 lines in this film, and I'm not even kidding, less than a third of them, only 11 are even spoken directly to Zuko. He gets more lines with Shao, freaking Shao! We get 40 minutes into this film before Iroh has anything close to a meaningful conversation with Zuko, and even then, Shyamalan uses it to shoehorn in exposition about Zuko's backstory.
Don't lower your guard!
I'm just happy that Iroh finally does an Iroh thing. Good for you, Shyamalan. You're not implementing the lowest possible acceptable standard. Characters do not exist in isolation, okay? The role they play tells us things about the characters around them.
This is
Katara's
our
role as
victory!
the motherly figure tells us that Sokka has been dependent on her growing up, whether he knows it or not. Iroh's role as the calm mentor tells us that Zuko needs to learn patience and self-control. But Iroh's role in the film as man who is nice simply doesn't cut it here. What hole is Iroh filling in the story here? The answer is none, because Zuko isn't really ever shown to need him narratively. The closest we get is that he stops him throwing fire at Shao, presumably, but that's really not that much. And I don't think that any scene epitomizes this problem with Zuko and Iroh's characterization like one of Zuko's earliest scenes where he's practicing firebending on the ship. It's almost an exact parallel to one of Zuko's first scenes in the show, just without any real firebending. A recurring motif in this film, by the way, because, budget? Bending is just as much martial arts, so that's fine, but the scene just happens and ends with Iroh drinking tea, totally expressionless, barely even watching his nephew. The scene should have been a bigger thing, but yet again, Iroh says nothing to Zuko. He shows no meaningful care for him, despite just watching him get humiliated by Shao in the previous scene, and clearly watching him take out his anger on others in a fight. This is clearly a crucible for Zuko, and he's got nothing to say or feel about it. At best, he doesn't care, and at worst, this passive viewing is like he endorses Zuko processing his anger and pain with more violence. And Zuko even leaned up to Zhao in the last scene and said this.
One day my father will take me back, and you will bow before me.
But just imagine for a moment,
I know.
Shyamalan
Here,
took that
right?
scene one day my father will take me back, and give me my honor. Your father will let you
I know. Here, right?
What? This is our victory!
The enemies are too strong. Poor Ripper just keeps dying.
Oh, did I get stronger?
Apparently she does just as well with a crossbow.
But even in exile, it's your choices that make you honorable. Now again, this time, remember, 5 ending comes from the breath, not your anger. And I just keep coming...
To the battlefield
Back
once
to
more!
thinking, please, show me that Iroh has some meaningful influence in Zuko's life, that he means something to him at all, that he helps him process his anger healthily. The scene which this is clearly taken from isn't about Zuko fighting some firebenders. No, it's about demonstrating Zuko's need for self-control, and his firebending abilities are a proxy for that part of his character arc. When he fights angrily, he loses. When he controls himself, he wins. To Shyamalan, though, Zuko's firebending and the magic system more broadly is pretty much a proxy for nothing. Neither for Zuko personally or for his dynamic with Iroh, it's narratively meaningless, and the rest of the story treats it as a spectacle, a way to make the fight scenes pretty. Once again, Shyamalan sees a pretty thing he wants to put in his film, but he doesn't understand why the pretty thing is there. And this isn't even adding expensive scenes or a lot of runtime to make all of it work. This is just making easy and meaningful tweaks to the scenes he already has. Changes that should have been obvious because they were already written like this in the show.
Why?
Zhao and Ozai are the 2 true antagonists of this story, and funnily enough, one of them is the least bad character introduction in this film, while the other is a criminal act of
I don't have an escape.
When we meet Zhao 20 minutes into the film, he mocks Zuko for his banishment. He condescends to him by comparing him to a child in a costume, and he does it in front of all of his men. He tells us who Zhao is without too much effort. He's smug. He's kind of that middle management prick, that person who is technically above you in the hierarchy, but thinks and acts like they're way more important than they really are. It's humiliating, but you have to tolerate it. So he also gets
Iroh has banished his son to Prince. Renounced his love of him and will not let him return to the throne unless he finds the Avatar. The Fire Lord believes his son is too soft. And by doing this, he will become strong and become a worthy heir to the throne.
As you know, which again is just so terribly funny because it's so painfully obvious what Shyamalan's doing here. Okay, Shyamalan, here's the thing. We don't know how to fit Zuko's backstory in.
Here, right?
Missed! And now, activate! Throw him off battle! Got it! The battlefield is my stage!
All of it. Yeah, you've got it.
I'm stronger!
And yeah, it's not scripted greatly. Implying Zuko's arc is about strength, not honor, and it's a little too on the nose. It would have been good if the soldiers laughed and deepened his humiliation, but it at least gives us some real two-way character conflict when Zuko threatens him and storms out. Sure, shows Zuko what he did, and in the episode that inspired this moment, he challenged him to an Agni Kai, but still, as an introduction, this scene at least tells us who Zhao is, which is well a step up from Aang, Katara, Iroh, and Sokka. So we're betting 2 for 6. Good going, Shyamalan. And you know what?
No.
I'm glad he got Zhao right and not any of the others. Zhao, the most memorable character in the entire series. Zhao,
I'm great at
the
running.
long-time fan favorite. But Ozai, the psychopathic child-abusing dictator waging war on the rest of the world to attain total domination and supremacy, the terrifying monolith of raw firebending power, the towering man whom all fear, he is the shadow in the fire, the wonderful It is an encounter. Where are the luscious locks, Shyamalan? Where are the luscious locks? Where are they? I'm not even kidding. And I say that Ozai has 5 scenes in this film.
Ready for orders.
And every single one of them would have been a better introduction to Ozai's character than the one they chose. We need to talk about this. Let me remind you of Azula's introduction, the famous "Do the Tides command this ship" speech. Her theme is bold and loud. Everyone in the scene around her is in a position of subservience before she even steps out. Her presence commands
This is the fruit of my labor.
She chooses a
Level
subtle,
up.
underhanded threat in a way that shows she is emotionally manipulative, smart, domineering, but arrogant to a weakness. There's so much communicated here outside the script. In one of his scenes, in the film, Ozai is sitting on his throne. We never see his face, the angle is commanding, with Zhao blurred out and small compared to him.
and his voice in the scene is actually kind of imposing.
You think,
Don't lower your guard.
my son, is this person the soldiers are calling the Blue Spirit?
A
This would have
great
been a
view.
fine introduction for many of the reasons that Azula's was
I'm
fantastic
great at
too.
running.
Or one of his other scenes, like in Zuko's flashback, where Zuko remembers his own father burning his face as a child. This scene has at least some dynamic shots with him stepping out of the darkness, a genuine reveal, and an emotive beat with a strong character-defining decision to Ozai's first scene. Our first impression of Ozai will be formed around him burning his own child's face, making me hate him a little maybe. Or perhaps the scene where Ozai declares that they should kill the moon and the ocean spirits, an affront to the powers of the universe, demonstrating the true ruthlessness of your villain.
But Shyamalan shoots himself in the foot because he lets Ozai's first scene be
Wow.
the one where he's getting an update on this film's greatest hit.
You know, I conducted a raid on the Great Library, which most said didn't even exist.
There's no memorable villainous theme, there are no shots or framing that emphasize his commanding air or the danger that he poses. All of the shots are flat
I'll
and
bring
boring
forth the
and
bloom
lifeless.
bloom.
I mean, there
It
is a
really
reason
feels like this is a mistake of some kind. Seriously.
Comes before them look small, alone in the dark, while they look down
Ready
on
for
them from a position
orders.
of power. But there's just nothing.
You're using a crossbow and your accuracy is still shit.
It is my stage.
And I don't hate him. I don't even feel anything. He doesn't make any character-defining decisions. He doesn't do anything horrid or even interesting like Azula does. There are no power dynamics in the way it's shot, and the fact that you see Ozai's face here immediately robs the later scenes when we don't see his face of any of the power they were meant to have. There's no reveal. I am not a filmmaker, okay, but it seems simple to me. Shyamalan could have had the scene where we can't see his face, the scene where we reveal his face, and then the scene where we see all of him. 1, 2,
Don't
3,
underestimate
with
a
their friendly
good
coordinating one another. And this is made even worse by the fact that we didn't even need this information to be delivered this way.
I'll let you
It
off.
could have been as simple as Zhao opening a clearly delicate and ancient scroll, possibly from the Great Library that none said exist, in a ship, and he says, "The spirits have had their way with this world for too long. It is time for a new age of man." We don't see what the scroll says exactly, getting the audience to want answers. What has he discovered? And then the camera pans to a great map behind him of the
I'm
Northern
ashamed.
Water Tribe.
Please, Shyamalan, we don't need to know it's from the Great Library. To return to my points about exposition, is it necessary? Is it natural? Is it problem solving? Is it character justification? On all fronts, no. But let's tally up all of Shyamalan's hits and misses, shall we? Like most of my attempts at finding happiness, it's mostly miserable failures. Ah, hey! I think I found a way to solve all my problems! Book 3.
Let's go.
Oh, single one?
Hey,
I got this.
I know you must see some
Together.
painting.
The
Avatar's full of
battlefield is my
creative and
stage.
fast-paced fight scenes, and you can't wait to see them on the big screen, can you? Because they're gonna be awesome.
Battle start. Don't underestimate a good form.
Tell me a little more about that. What happened in the fight scenes? They were just so terribly paced. I mean, there was barely any connection between the element and their physical movements.
Don't underestimate a good formation.
All the time. I see it before my waking eyes.
What? Ready for orders. Ancient secret craft.
In this film, it's like Shyamalan sat down, watched the show, and came away with the conclusion that bending was the same as watching a congregation of goths dance in 2008. You all know it. The most infamous fight scene of this film is undoubtedly the one in the earthbending prison, where it takes 6 men, 6 people to bend a single rock. And hey, if that's not what it is, then it's shot in a way that makes you think that, which is even worse on a technical level.
There's barely any life or tension built into how people move and bend the elements, and Shyamalan must have barely looked at what the different bending forms looked like, because the most egregious example is when you got Noah Ringer to do just some random martial arts routine in order to summon a cloud of fog after Zuko rescues him at the Blue Spirit. He ends up in what is quite distinctly known as horse stance, the most basic, I kid you not, earthbending stance, and the absolute opposite of everything airbending stands for. I mean, look at this firebending move during the prison fight. It should have been a third of the length, and again, there is only a vague connection between the physical movements of the actor and the movement of the element.
What is this? Tell me, I need to know. He's like 2 steps from going unlimited power.
This isn't just frustrating for me because it's clearly not the same way as in the original show, where movements are precise and have a clear cause-consequence relationship between physical movement and movement of the element. It's frustrating because it's boring and dumb to watch on its own.
Oh, did
on a
I get
technical level,
stronger?
it makes the bending
This
look
seems
fake
about
because
right.
it doesn't really match the movements of those actors using it.
Perhaps I should
Look
make a
at
new
this shot
character.
later on in the Northern Water Tribe, when Aang makes a vortex, and
I still don't have a
nobody
single
around him
artifact.
is looking at it. This amazing feat of bending that nobody's seen in 100 years, and no one cares. It's like when you can tell actors are pointing at something animated
It's
that they
okay.
can't really
I
see
can
on a
move.
green screen or whatever. And none of this is helped by the fact that the choreography of background benders is kind of like a high school rendition of Get Your Head in the Game, where all of the actors are clearly not basketball players, and one guy in the back drops it and it rolls off stage. And you know what? At least the small rock guys weren't tired. Get them to come back. Get them to do the bending. Get them to do all the bending in this film. Replace all of the actors with just the small rock guys. Tim 2020, replace everyone with small rock guys. Some people have asked if the fight scenes were always doomed to fail. A lot of people would struggle replicating the fast, sharp moves from the animated series, and the visual effects would have difficulty following those moves. But I don't think the problem is the visual effects. The fight scene in Doctor Strange and a bunch of other films, there's a lot of them out there, have fast movements and effects needing to work together, but it works because the actors' movements are precise, they're sharp, they have a clear intention. Most bending in Shyamalan's film, though, doesn't have that attention to detail. It feels like he vaguely described what they should do, and then they just did something and felt they looked cool. This is why the martial arts skills are important for actors in these kinds of films, because this sort of stuff just looks sloppy and directionless without it. That precision and control and clarity of movement is a skill that you have to build up. It's not something any random person can just do. On a more structural level, though, Shyamalan's fight scenes have a serious pacing problem. There are these awkward gaps between each beat. Have a look at this one, the earthbending prison scene. There is 1, the stone wall, 2, the march, 3, the tiny rock, 4, the firebolt, 5, soccer kicking one guy, 6, Aang airbending, 7, soccer's boomerang, 8, Aang airbending 2.0, and then 9, the firebenders flee. Everyone in the background, including the main characters, just stand there till it's their turn to do something, like Assassin's Creed guards. Aang stands there for not even kidding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds before doing anything. The dude that just firebent is weirdly in the exact same position once the fires have cleared. Like he's like, well, my job's done now. Katara just wanders around the background after she's shot someone, and most of the guards do nothing, despite there being a lot of them. Like, movement is only permitted when Shyamalan explicitly directs it on one of those beats. He should know that we do see the stuff that isn't just central to the shot. But pacing isn't just about speed and flow, though. Pacing is about a sense of progression, a feeling that the story is moving forward, or perhaps grinding to a halt. And it's the same with fight scenes. They're meant to tell us a story. But Shyamalan...
Vanty, that rascal. It's been 3 days and it's still not back. I guess it did take weeks when it was just the puppet soldiers. So maybe time works differently over there. I'm so bored. I could make some friends out of the puppet soldiers if I could summon them here. Probably not. There's not enough mana.
Not sure. This part of the story could really benefit from having a little bit more persistent side characters. Eureka on her own, I don't think would have been just as entertaining as Nachiru alone is right now. But it helped that there was Madame Granny at least, so that they could bounce off each other. Nachiru is just really boring. It doesn't help that she's re-expositioning things we already know.
Rue, Mr. Pumpleton asked for help with the entryway light. It's gone out. Would you mind taking a look for me? I need to get dinner ready, so it'd be a huge help if you could spare the time.
I'll take care of it after I close up shop.
Please do so before the sun goes down, okay?
I've got no customers, and there's no sign of Fanty returning, so guess I'll get it out of the way.
The fuck?
The upheaval phenomenon again. Feels like I haven't seen the sun in days.
Upheaval? Secret stones? Demon Kid?
Hey, a silver coin. Lucky me. Maybe today's all right after all.
And then a man in a fancy-looking costume with the most gaudy hair ever picks it up and then asks you, "Would this coin happen to belong to you, good sir?" And then he'd ask, "If there were 1,000,000 lira on the floor, would you take it?" And then, before you know it, he licks you. And then he's like, "That taste, that's the distinct tang of a liar." Giorno Giovanna! Been a while since we saw her with her hood on.
Ah, Rue. Sorry to bother you. Could I ask for your help?
Hello, Mr. Pumpleton.
Yes,
Really,
hello.
his name is
I can't climb
Pumpleton.
the ladder, and Miss Colbert is too short to reach the bow.
All right, I'll do it.
Up you go. You're such a great help. Come to think of it, you sure have gotten big. Your behind is quite large. You've really grown into a woman.
Alright, this is the time where we leave.
Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. I recently visited the popular new candy store in Brocken Square. Would you like some?
I can't. I've got to get back to the store.
Speaking of the store, would you mind asking your mother if she's finally ready to sell it? It's not on a busy street, but there have been several offers. It would be no small sum of money. Her job is quite taxing, is it not?
My grandfather treasured that store, so I doubt she'd ever give it up.
Really? Well, her mind could change. Just talk with her, won't you? Anyway, swing by the manager's office when you close up shop. I'll have tea ready for you.
As if we're closing the shop.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't see you inside, so I went ahead and let myself in.
Huh? Miss Cece?
Indeed. Hello. So, how have things been?
Well, I've got a few things for you to take a look at. Oh no. Shit!
Ooh, did it come at a bad time?
You can't see it, can you?
Ooh, that's the most suspicious thing you could possibly fucking ask anyone ever.
What might that be? Would you care to explain?
Sure.
I see. So you've summoned yourself a wandering spirit. Is that right?
Would you mind not, you know...
Of course. I won't tell another soul. If the government were to find out, you would be subjected to magic restriction laws.
Right. I appreciate it.
Furthermore, it does not matter to me whether or not you use magic.
Oh, also, about your request from the other day. What do you think of this?
This item. It is indeed emanating an aura of strong mana. This is exactly what I'm looking for.
Oh yeah?
A promise is a promise. I will take it. In return, I'll pay you 20% of what I'll sell this for, as well as twice your asking price. Let's see. How does 100,000 shells sound?
Shells? I guess that's the currency here.
Really? 100,000?
It's well worth the investment. The intense mana emanating from this piece is proof that it is a curio.
Oh boy.
Curio?
Yes, allow me to give a proper explanation. My clientele is deeply fascinated by knickknacks.
Clientele.
However, they've grown uninterested in the usual antiques. Rare items such as this one are known as curio and are much sought after. If you brought this to me, it must mean you can see its mana, can't you?
Oh,
It's probably best not to speak about it. The ability to sense mana is more or less linked to one's potential as a witch. Well, I suppose that means we are both cut from the same cloth. By the way, this curio you brought today, what do you think of it?
it's got powerful mana. I mean, there's mana, but it's more like I feel someone's soul or emotions. It's hard to say.
Yes, that's exactly right. Curio aren't merely pieces of art containing strong mana. They emit a person's feelings. Also, there are some that can bring about great misfortune to the holder if used incorrectly.
Like cut their balls out.
Really?
I can't get over that.
I'd appreciate it if you could sell me any you come across. I'd pay 1,000,000 shells for more potent ones.
1,000,000? That much?
That's 10 times. We're talking 100,000. Or we're talking 10 raised to 100? No. 10 raised to 5 instead of 4. We're talking exponents here, baby. I could be wrong. Wait, 10 raised to the power of 5 means there's 10 plus 5 extra zeros. I meant 5, it's from 5 to 6.
You're not curious about where I've been getting these from?
Wouldn't you rather get them directly rather than using your money for it?
You get them from the wardrobe, right? I noticed it the first time I came here.
Huh?
I've seen them on rare occasions. Strange items that overflow with mana and are connected to mysterious spaces. I'd honestly prefer it if you sold that wardrobe to me too. But it'd be disrespectful to ask that of you while you're still exploring the interior. After all, I have no means of retrieving the curio myself. I don't have a wandering spirit to help me like you do. I have faith in your skills after seeing the curio you sold to me today. I believe our business will be rather fruitful.
Skills? It was nothing.
Rue, are you here? Oh, I see you have a customer.
Well then, this concludes our business. I will return again soon.
Thank you very much.
Say, would you like to go shopping with me right now?
What? No, go away.
Sorry, Mr. Pumpleton. I'm about to close up shop. And also, I'm super busy. Maybe next time. Go on, shoo! Out!
Is it just Nachiru's fate to be sexually harassed no matter what universe she lives in?
Hey, wait! You're in an awfully good mood.
That's because I just got 100,000 shells. None of your business. Go. 100,000 more than you usually get.
Fanty, look at all this money. 100,000 shells. 100,000. Check it out. Oh man. Is this really happening? We might not even need to sell the store. It's all up to you now. Sniff out the meanest, most mana-filled... What were they? Curio? Please.
You know, I just realized we have it the worst here, huh? Not both Nachiru and Madam Witch have only ever asked stuff of us. And I've only now just realized, at the very least, Eureka thanked us for our hard work. And I mean, I guess I do get secondhand joy from seeing my hard work get someone else the good stuff, but my life sucks. That's new. Ooh! Natures affect what equipment a puppet soldier can wear and is rapport with other puppets. What? That's new information to me. I thought it just affected stats. I still can't make any more puppets. Maybe I should use the treasure petition. Oh, we did get the 10,000. Very nice. Yep, we're definitely selling that. Everything's too expensive so far for now. Can't ask for much. I should probably get one of this. You never know. Sanzu, the Art of War. Right. I got time. I need water. I'm back. I just realized I marathon binged. I guess both are valid. 8 hours of this game today. And hoo boy am I tired of this game. I'll probably still play a fuck ton more tomorrow, but you know, fuck it, let's... There's power in a group. There's strength in numbers. I'm gonna go spend my mana. It's totally worth it. Hopefully totally worth it. Wait, can I even buy puppet parts in the store? Thank fuck. I think building up numbers is our first priority here. Whoa, it's got soul clarity. Whoa. Everything is just average, wow.
What is it? Have you found a coffin for me to take repose in?
Bruh. What do we want? I want more defense up front. If we can keep her at full health, she can do some real good damage in the back. I could make a skill monkey. Shields. Actually, you know what? These guys are really powerful. Like they're way too overtuned. I think I'll just make another one of these. What do I name her? I got nothing. We've got so much more now. Lovely. That is something I like, and I guess I like this part of the game where you're forced to start over from scratch. They really put a lot of attention to the character creation, and they made sure it's a part of the game from the beginning up until the very end. A lot of games that have character creation, they advertise them a lot, but really you only do it in the beginning and that's it. Good-natured type, zealous. Perfect.
The hell? Not my problem if the brigade... I'm busy providing services for the Kitty Cat Brigade on my days off.
Sure, let's go with that voice. Constitution doesn't get compromised with double sharp. I guess I'll go for attack up. I'll go with 55, a number perfectly in the middle. Because that's Liberte's character. They believe that everything should be right in the middle. No man, no woman, no adult, no child, no master, no student. Everyone is perfectly in the middle.
Yes, my liege. I shall take up this new role.
That's what I've decided their character will be. They need to be sun. That only leaves. I guess I'm not using this then. It's really as simple as that. I guess I'll go for a decoy style formation for now, which I've never done before. What does the pincer formation do?
Let's get started. Don't underestimate a good formation. A great view. You're mine. Yeah! I'm stronger.
Skill increased. I'll be of even more use.
Alright, the meat. I guess I should give her a head start. Or him. Or them. Guess
Skill increased.
Labyrinth doesn't believe in pronouns as well.
Skill increased. I'll be of even more use. Skill increased. I'll be of even more use.
I'll probably have to write an apology video later.
Let's go. Ready for orders.
Bloodbath.
Victory.
You know, I could probably put Isaiah and Liberté in the same pact.
Skill increased. I'll be of even more use.
The default name pact, baby. Why not? I think it's better they switched. Never mind, right? Kinda sad to know no one's watching me anymore.
Don't lower your guard. Don't underestimate a good. Of course.
Hit confirmed. Yep. Severance confirmed.
Together. Whoa! We won!
Are you kidding me?
Battle start.
I know. Here, right?
You guys have numbers, but so do we. It's a number measuring contest now.
Battlefield is my stage.
This is the fruit of my labor.
Woo. Alright, so that's just a dead end.
A great view.
Together. After you.
Together.
I'll do my best.
Are you fucking kidding me? How many?
The bloody bloom.
How many people are in this room?
Right. Ready for orders. Victory.
Commencing combat against our adversaries.
Why is it an ambush?
I know. Here, right?
The small fries really don't matter how many numbers of them there are.
Stand by in the usual position. Time to count.
Of course.
This is our victory.
This seems about right.
I'm strengthening up slowly but surely.
Let's get started.
You guys!
Ready for
So
orders.
fucking much.
Whoa! We won!
Man. The Liberta and Nisea are super overtuned. Like, holy crap. They hit hard, and they hit everyone hard. A true symbol of equality. Nisea is... They don't pick. They attack everyone equally.
Stand by in the usual position.
I wish they were a little faster though.
A great view.
Whoa!
This is our victory.
I forgot about the video I was watching. I'm gonna almost.
To tell us a story, but Shyamalan rarely ever gives us the feeling that the characters are either getting closer to or further from their goal. Instead, these are just things that happen, and then it's over, and the Fire Nation runs away. There's no strong sense of cause and effect, that each of these made the Fire Nation run away, that they build up to it. They just come after one another sequentially, and this isn't helped by
The boss battle music isn't different.
Shyamalan's desire to
Oh well,
shoot
this song is good, I guess.
It makes everything appear slow and lumbering, and that's a technical flaw that he should have foreseen. Directors usually solve this problem by establishing a clear central goal, defeating a specific person or escaping out a particular door, and then using beats that either bring them closer to this or take them further away from it. It gives it a sense of progression and setback. But Shyamalan gives us nothing of that sort here, nor in barely any of his other fight scenes. But you know what's even more bizarre about this fight? Shyamalan uses a dissolved transition between the fight inside the prison and the fight outside the village. And this is really weird, because the only other place that Shyamalan uses a dissolved transition in this film is when there's a big gap in time and space, like look at this fade leading up to the Solanea temple. The way this fight scene is shot makes it feel like some weird montage of Aang freeing villages across the Earth Kingdom. It's not. It's just badly shot using inconsistent filmic language. I think it's a little too easy for a lot of critics to take a couple of bad scenes and go, look at how terrible these are! That makes the film as a whole bad, when a lot of films might have a couple of bad ones but are otherwise fine. But I want to be clear. This isn't a one-off issue or one-scene disaster that Shyamalan makes and then moves on and improves. The midpoint climax of the film takes from the episode The Blue Spirit, where Zuko rescues Aang from imprisonment with Zhao and they fight their way out. And a really strange thing about this sequence in the film is that a dozen or more moments are almost shot-for-shot translations from show to film to a level of detail that's honestly kind of unusual for a film adaptation.
Oh, got one.
But again, the text isn't just the words or imagery used at any given moment. It's the subtext and context that gives those things meaning. And though Shyamalan might depict some iconic fight scenes from the show, he fails to articulate the point behind them, the place they have in the narrative. Because fight scenes, like every scene, serve a purpose. The purpose of this one was to show how compatible Aang and Zuko truly are by having them fight together and depend on each other, as well as foreshadow Zuko's eventual change of allegiance. They save each other's lives over half a dozen times back and forth. The times they fight alone is when they start to lose. There is not a single beat in this sequence in the show that doesn't deepen these ideas. And Shyamalan has this fight scene go on for a total of 2 minutes and 35 seconds. But they're fighting totally apart from one another for 1 minute 45 seconds of that. Nearly 70%. Less than a third of the fight is actually doing what this fight scene was meant to do narratively. And the rest, well, it's basically meaningless. Because even when Aang's fighting alone, he's totally fine. He's kicking ass. Watching this, you begin to realize that this is probably just a spectacle that clearly Noah Ringer practiced a lot and Shyamalan thought would look a lot cooler than it truly does. So he couldn't bear to leave it on the cutting room floor, and they even put a lot of emphasis on the stuff with the behind-the-scenes footage, which again speaks to me how Shyamalan might have really liked this scene and wanted to keep it in, despite the fact that it's not that great. And by the way, this isn't even to mention one of the worst shots in the entire film, shot from the perspective of Aang, supposedly flying. Necessarily, this fight too suffers from the same pacing issues that the prison fight scene did. People are very clearly waiting for their cued and directed turn, and the gaps between the fight beats are way too slow, with only some beats really leading into one another for a sense of cause and effect. For example, Shyamalan sets up that Aang is surrounded and trapped by dozens of soldiers. This is good. Aang has a clear goal to escape being surrounded. But the way in which Shyamalan shoots it extremely close doesn't tell us if the number of enemies is decreasing or that Aang is figuring a way out of this fray. And then in the next shot, he is magically out and safe without us knowing why or how he did it. A lot of these things aren't obvious or film-branded on their own. Most films will have,
I thought I had 30,000.
And pacing and fights like this. But they add up to a feeling that what you're watching
I'm so bad.
Boring, not going anywhere until it suddenly is. The lift fight scene from Captain America Winter Soldier isn't the best fight scene ever made, but it does neatly demonstrate the flaws of Shyamalan's filmmaking here. Right from the beginning, there is a definitive sense of Captain America's goal: get out of the lift. From very early on in the fight, you have a clear idea of just how many there are of them left, with a special focus on this character. Because of this, fighting this guy becomes kind of a proxy for how well the fight itself is going, and beating him becomes the natural segue into getting out.
Oh,
which
did I
Captain
get
America
stronger?
does. There's a strong sense of both cause and effect from beat to beat,
This is the
and
fruit of my
progression
labor.
and setback as
There
tension
you
goes
go.
on,
Skill
down
increased.
until his eventual
I'll be of
escape.
even more
But I
use.
want to show you something I discovered. Because I found that literally every fight scene in this film is drastically improved when watching at 1.5 or 2 times the speed. And not just because they're over quicker.
Ooh, you saved me.
Right, I think I'll leave it here.